What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another whiteboarding session. Today, I wanted to do a little content strategy with you. I want to really plan out my YouTube and my content for next year and kind of show you what that process looks like of me putting it together. Hopefully, this will be helpful for you, and I hope you'll follow along at home. If you want to, grab a piece of paper or your iPad, or if you've got a vibe board as well, whatever you want to do, let's hop in to planning a year-ish of content for my YouTube channel. And huge thanks to TubeBuddy for sponsoring this video. If you want to earn more money from YouTube, because hello, who doesn't? It really is just one click away with TubeBuddy. Their powerful analytics and video optimization tools can help you increase your ad revenue and sponsorships, maximizing your income as a content creator by increasing your views. Their Keyword Explorer tool is a must-have part of my content strategy. It lets me quickly identify trends and hot topics to incorporate into my videos to get more clicks. So YouTubers, Black Friday deals are live now until the 29th. You can use code ALL40 at checkout for 40% off TubeBuddy. So first things first, we've got to start with our content pillars. Content pillars are going to be kind of the things that hold your brand up. They're the overarching topics or ideas that you become known for. And from there, you break those pillars up into topics. That's going to be step 2, but we're going to just start with the pillars. So what I like to start with for our content pillars are actually going to be your products or services that you're looking to offer. Now, of course, if you're doing YouTube or social media for fun, you can disregard this part. But for most of the people who watch, we are, at the end of the day, we got to make money from this, right? So start with your services. I have 3 core products that I offer throughout the year. I've got a ton of like smaller things here and there, but these are kind of what make up the bulk of my income. SMMA. So this is a social media management course. This probably makes up like a quarter of my revenue or so. Next up, we've got the Freelance Friday Club. We'll just call this FFC. So this is my membership group for freelancers, entrepreneurs, content creators. That is all year round. You can kind of join anytime. And then the last bucket is the agency work. So I'm just going to call this J&P. So SMMA is a course. Freelance Friday Club is a membership. J&P, this is my agency where I record courses for people and just do marketing strategy and whatever the heck else I do. So we're starting there. So the thing with a content pillar is, yes, you want to make sure it's something that you want to be known for, that you enjoy creating content about, all that kind of stuff. But you also need to make sure that it ties back to these offers in most cases. I mean, again, if you're creating just for fun, or if you're like maybe in the process of building a product or writing a book and it's not out yet, it's okay, of course, if your content pillar doesn't immediately, tie back to one of your existing offers. But if you have a business that's built out, you want to make sure that it's kind of propping these things up. It's nice because I have like 3 core offerings and 3 pillars. I don't recommend choosing any more than 2 to 3 content pillars. You'll start to confuse people. And luckily, all of these topics really do overlap a little bit. They all make sense together. If you are a little bit more multi-passionate and maybe like you own a hair salon, but you also do marketing, but you also walk dogs on the weekend, like that's when things start to get a little bit confusing. And if you are in that position, that's where I recommend having different accounts for different things. So dog walker versus hair salon owner versus marketer, that's 3 different audiences. So I would say that's actually 3 different profiles or kind of brands, if you will. In my case, these are all within the realm of freelancing, entrepreneurship, digital marketing. So I think it's okay to be all in one. Okay, so SMMA, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So really, we've got social media strategy as the pillar. Social media news is just one of the topics. All right, next up for Freelance Friday Club. I mean, this one is pretty easy. It's just like freelancing, like tips. When I do this for clients, I like to come up with like a fun name for it, but freelance, I'm just going to say freelance life because there could be a lot of different topics that are housed within this. And of course, we'll talk about that next. And then James and Park. So what I'm really focusing on in the agency right now is the value of authoritative content. By that, I mean online courses, website, videos for your website, YouTube content, kind of that long form, high value content, because that is what I'm primarily offering is course creation. And also I think I'm going to do like a repurposing service this year for clients who already have YouTube channels or podcasts and want to start sending out newsletters or, maximizing the value of it through short form content, etc. This is really more of like content marketing, I suppose. Actually, I'm just going to call it what it is, authoritative content. Okay, so these are my kind of unofficial, but I think official pillars for next year. It seems about right. So the next thing, like I already started doing over here, is we just need to then start filling in topic ideas for each. So I've already got one. And what I like to do is I like to look at, pull out your phone, open up whatever social platforms you're already active on and take a look at what has performed well for you. I know off the top of my head that the social media news series I've been doing has been one of my highest performers. So that one can stick around for 2024. But maybe I'll also do, some other types of videos. I think like tools, people have been liking learning about the tools that I use, so you can do tools. We'll just write that. I think interviews are interesting too. Like on the Freelance Friday podcast, I've done a few with past students that have done really well, and also just experts in areas that I am not an expert. Freelance life, right? There's a lot that can be placed under here. So, one thing that I love doing, and I'm not gonna not do, I don't do as many anymore, but I do love a good vlog. And I think that vlogs can be really helpful actually at showcasing things like the Freelance Friday Club. I'm showing my day. I'm showing, hey, I'm about to get on a Freelance Friday Club call, or just kind of illustrating the beauty of a freelance lifestyle. And that some days I just go grocery shopping in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon. And, some days I work from a cool city, whatever. So I think vlogs are a great way to kind of illustrate this larger topic. But of course, we also have the podcast, the Freelance Friday podcast. I'll just call it podcast, which is usually like a 20-minute lesson on a particular topic within the world of freelancing. I think this one can also be interviews. And then for the authoritative content stuff, I think this is really where the content creation content, a little meta. I also think tutorials and like gear videos have really been a lot of fun for me. And I also have a sponsor that's going to be starting next year that I will kind of need to do some of that stuff for. So gear and tutorials. And I know you might be thinking, well, if you're looking to sell this service, how does teaching people how to DIY it actually sell the service? Well, I think it does because it builds up the value of what I'm doing. Also, like I said, I'm looking to introduce a repurposing service next year. So I'll actually need a lot of people who already have their own content. Not everybody's going to want me to fly out to their location and shoot a course. That's also, a pricier service. But also, I think it just illustrates the value of what it is and also educates people. And what I've found too is sometimes when I showcase, like, hey, here's all my equipment, here's how to DIY it, there are some people who definitely want to do that, right? They definitely want to DIY. There are other people who are going to say, oh my gosh, that's way too much work, or that's too expensive, or that's this, or that's that. Actually, could you just come out here and do it for me? And I'll just pay you to do it yourself. So I think that these things still do tie in. We could do social media news in here as well, because I have been doing like some content creator news. We could expand that out to content creation, the power of that. So yeah. So we've got the offers, we've got the pillars, and we've got some broad topics. Now, the next thing to do is to actually start optimizing these topics and plugging them into a calendar. So I think what I'm going to do is actually go over to my laptop for this portion, and I'll meet you over there. All right, so the next thing I like to do is go into Asana, which is what I use for kind of my big editorial calendar. You guys know that I use Metricool for my scheduling content calendar, but this is where I like to just kind of like get my hands dirty, if you will, and just move things around before I actually start planning out the individual posts to schedule. So I've got this opened up to January 2024. There's nothing on the calendar yet, which is just like kind of scary, but also kind of exciting. So the first thing I'm going to start is just by blocking off all of my recurring things. So Freelance Friday podcast is every Friday, the kind of first Friday of every month. I like to do a what's new in social media marketing video that may actually be changing a little bit next year. In that, I'm kind of thinking, since you guys seem to really like that, maybe that's its own podcast or its own show. Let me know if you have strong thoughts about that either way. But for now, we'll just roll with this. So that's kind of ticking the social media news bucket. So we already have like a little bit of balance coming in. And sometimes you ask like why are content pillars so important? Well, it's exactly that. It's so that I'm not doing 2 weeks worth of content creation tips unless I'm maybe launching something that's around content creation. Otherwise, that can just become a lot and make people tune out who aren't interested in that. So, what else do we got here? Freelance life, value of authoritative content. So I do know, like I said, that I have a brand deal that I'm going to be working with in the new year that is very content creation heavy. So I'm just going to say untitled gear video. Another video that I've been wanting to do is a microphone video, like testing all of the different microphones that I have and giving you guys some recommendations for the best ones to get based on your budget. So I'm just going to place that there. Vlogs, and we just need something for the 29th. What haven't we done a lot of? Let's see. Interviews, tools. I'm just going to put tool video until I figure out exactly what that's going to be. Also, I think for the new year, I'm going to move my uploads to Tuesdays and Fridays. So I'm just going to start doing that because, man, having to have a video ready on Monday morning, it just makes me so anxious the night before. So I think this will be a little better. And I feel like you guys are, getting in the swing of your week and aren't so much looking forward to videos. Okay, so Tuesday, Friday, we got all of our videos planned out loosely, at least. Here's the other thing. We really have not done a lot of social media content, and I actually will be launching SMMA at this time. So I'm actually going to move this one down and maybe I'll try to get a student interview. Ooh, that'll be good. Student interview, those seem to do really well when we're launching SMMA, hearing from my actual students. And then these two, I'm going to make these a little bit more social media marketing heavy. So this one might be like social media predictions for 2024. Is that a little too late? I'll have to decide here. So, what I do from here is I then go into YouTube. And this is where I start using that keyword explorer from TubeBuddy and just kind of like start popping it in and seeing what it looks like. Again, this one might not be super helpful just because we've already kind of like it's a little early for this type of topic. Although, like, people are already doing 2024 content, people as in Gary Vee, but also some others. So, the Search Explorer shows me that this is a good topic. So, we could play around a little bit with, maybe I'll do like how to create a social media strategy for 2024. We can kind of start to rephrase things and play around with how we're phrasing things and see if they get us a better overall score, which this one did a little bit. So, boom, that's what I'm going to call it instead of social media predictions and so on. So, that's kind of what I do from there. And then, we'll continue to build this one out. Let's do another one, the microphone video, testing every budget podcast microphone. Although that's not true because they won't be every budget. Some of them are kind of expensive. Testing every podcast microphone I own. You have to find that fine line between clickbait and being real. So, I don't want to say it's a budget microphone if some of them cost a lot of money. So that one looks good. We're going to call it testing every microphone I own. Sometimes I will actually put this keyword score in here too, just so I know if I need to further optimize or not. And this one was pretty good. So that's kind of what I do from there. And then I just start to move things around, as things happen. Obviously, social media topic, we'll wait around till we see, hey, what seems like it's going to be trending at the end of January and so on. And we can move things forward and ahead and back and all of that. But that's pretty much what I do for my content calendar. All right, so that is it. That is how I like to do my kind of end of year, beginning of year content calendar planning. Of course, it's important to continue to flesh this out, continue to refine it as you keep building and doing things and optimizing along the way, but that's basically where I like to start. Let me know if this sparked anything for you, gave you any ideas, and what you're going to be focusing on in 2024. I'd really love to know. And I'd really also love to know what you'd like from me as well. So if you care to share any video requests, topic ideas, now's the time before I start creating some of this stuff. And thanks for watching. Thanks to TubeBuddy for sponsoring. And I will talk to you in my next video.